For now, though, the Cold War may have ended decades ago, but it seems little has changed in the minds of leading politicians on Capitol Hill. As the U.S. presidential race hots up, some candidates appear to be stuck in the past, digging up Cold War rhetoric from days gone by. RT's Guy Chakan looks at whether the reset between Russia and the U.S. could be left crumbling by America's lack of respect for Russian interests.
The Cold War may long be over, with the leaders of Russia and America looking for common ground under the banner of a reset in relations. But Cold War sentiments still run high in the minds of some on Capitol Hill. A hearing in Washington was convened last year to discuss, quote, defending U.S. interests in the face of Russian aggression.
Moscow's actions have demonstrated the lengths that it is prepared to take to assert its influence on an even larger scale, a fact that is especially troubling in light of Europe's growing dependence on Russian energy.
The eagerness to protect the world from Russia's influence seems to echo President Harry Truman's speech, which arguably heralded the start of the Cold War.
It must be the policy of the United States to support free peoples who are resisting attempted subjugation by outside pressures.
One of the leading presidential contenders, Mitt Romney, went as far as this.
I think President Putin represents a real threat to the stability and peace of the world.
Analysts say many American politicians have mastered the art of creating and bashing boogeymen, especially when election campaigns are underway.
During the Cold War, for example, being hard on communism was considered a litmus test for a solid, trustworthy politician. And again, on both sides of the ocean we saw this. I suppose it's fair to say that it's some kind of Cold War inertia. But there's a desire to speak tough, talk tough when it comes to foreign policy in order to sell your campaign to the wider population.
Among the most hardline anti-Russian politicians are those who also preach unilateralism in foreign policy, which means the U.S. can and will decide whatever it chooses for the rest of the world, an idea which flourished after the Soviet Union's collapse.
What the neocons are having a particularly difficult time with is the idea that they can no longer simply snap their fingers and call the shots. Just 10 years ago in the United States, that was possible. In fact, that is exactly how the Iraq War came about. The neocons were running the show in Washington. They didn't see the need to consult with the great powers to determine whether their course of action was acceptable to them.
The reset policy was put forward in theory to overcome the Cold War mindset. But a number of differences still remain between Russia and the U.S. One of the biggest, U.S. plans for a missile defense shield in Europe. Washington still refuses to give Moscow legal guarantees that it won't target Russia. President-elect Vladimir Putin said reset doesn't mean that Russia has to give up its national interests or be unable to express its views on crucial international issues.
The reset has nevertheless been useful because it's a new level of trust. There's a real will to reach an agreement which has allowed us to reach a new START treaty. We also managed to sign an agreement on cooperation in the field of peaceful nuclear energy. And it's with US backing that Russia was able to join the World Trade Organization. These are positive steps, tangible results of the reset policy.
Most analysts agree for the reset to be truly successful, both sides have to respect and consider each other's interests. The Cold War is long gone, but it's alive and kicking in the minds of those who believe that one country has the exclusive right to make decisions for others. And that's a view which appears to be stuck in the minds of many U.S. politicians even to this day. I'm Guy Chakan reporting from Washington, RT.